All the surrounding animation reminded me of something. Something important yet almost forgotten. A vision. Perhaps my only true vision. Christmas was over, and I was heading home, back to California. The airport terminal was abuzz with traffic, so much traffic, each person with a weight equaling his or her needs, shoulders pinned, heavy. I hadn't slept a day in all the time I had been home, almost 2 weeks. I had had help. It was insomnia, but self-inflicted. Near delirium, feverish, I approached the conveyor belt that moved throughout the terminal, and despite my luggage and despite my wariness, for some reason I opted not to use it, to walk beside it. I viewed the conveyor belt indignantly, as unnecessary, unnatural. And then, just then, I happened to look up at all the faces of all the bodies scurrying like rats into cracks in the floorboard, hurrying to wherever they thought they were going, which was nowhere. And I stopped still, wondering at the fact that I suddenly recognized each and every face as my own, shards of a broken mirror running without destination. The same face differentiated only by time and relative to the abuses it had already suffered. And I stood there, still, my baggage slung over my shoulder. I stood there and watched myself as I split apart, melted, atoms splitting in all directions and exponentially, protons and neutrons and electrons taken together in nucleus, one moving with such haste despite the futility of its movement. And I stood there, overwhelmed by it all, the faces passing by even seeming to recognize itself in some sinister way before moving on, moving sideways, forwards, away from themselves, away from me. Yeah, I just stood there, and an uncharacteristic wish then poured forth from every pore of my body, the totality of which was the airport and the planes circling above it. Namely, I wish that all the other parts of myself could face this knowledge. Just stop, sit down, relax and get reacquainted with yourself, if only for a moment. Stop reaching for that apple, I almost spoke aloud. Stop reaching for that apple and return to the garden, return to the garden, return to the garden, return to the garden. Quit wanting, striving, moving. After all, you could travel all your life and still never get to where you are.